Good day. My name is Jamie Coulter. I'm the CEO of Raymond James in Canada. And joining me today are Brian Steele, branch manager and portfolio manager with Steele Wealth Management, Raymond James based in Waterloo. And also joining us is Sam Ryder, financial advisor and associate portfolio manager, also within the Steele Wealth Management Group at Raymond James. Our objectives today is really to explore our advisor internship program. We had it up and running for a number of years now, and it continues to evolve and become more effective and impactful. We want to talk about what it makes it unique in the industry in contrast to typical rookie programs. We also want to explore how the AIP program helps participants build their own book and launch their career as an independent advisor. And then lastly, highlight the importance of mentorship and guidance as a key part of that program. So Brian and Sam, thank you for joining me today. Jump right into it here. Our advisor internship program is a 3-year program, and it's aimed at helping aspiring advisors with at least 3 years of client-facing experience accelerate their careers with structured training and mentorship. What I'd love to hear from each of you is about your motivations for participating in the program and what you're hoping to get out of it. So Sam, why don't we start with you?
Thanks, Jamie. There were a few really important things for me when I looked at the AIP and the program and what it offered. First off was obviously joining an independent firm like Raymond James, whose focus is supporting advisors, enabling them to run their business. There was the chance to join an established, I'll call it an institutional caliber team. So join a team that had existing processes and established business in place. And I felt that was going to be very instrumental in success I would have in the AIP and in the industry, right? And then the third thing really was the AIP, when I looked at it, offered me the opportunity to build out some additional skills unique to the industry and to Raymond James that I wouldn't have otherwise had exposure to. So those were really the big things for me.
I appreciate that. And sounds like a good opportunity all around. So Brian, maybe I'll switch it over to you. What was your motivation for participating in the AIP program?
Yeah, certainly from our perspective, a couple of things. We have, 170 years combined experience on the team. So providing mentorship is something that kind of comes naturally. It's how the team was built. We had the ability to grow our team, add qualified people with professional credentials and already with industry experience. So that was really important as well. In Sam's case, we could add skills that we didn't have on the team, make the team better. So, and our philosophy has always been to add the skills ahead of when you need them and kind of grow into it. So that's been excellent as well. And then in terms of Sam particularly, it allowed us to add our third CFA to the team, a high level of expertise in alternative investments. And it's just skills that we did not have before. Sam had a strong US work background, so he stepped in and enhanced our cross-border business as well.
I think you keyed in on a couple of key items there. One, the industry experience, and I've had this conversation with many looking at joining our exciting business. But it's you go through some of the exams, the Canadian Securities course, the Conduct and Practices Handbook. But that's really just, kind of scraping the surface of how this business works. It is extremely complicated. And I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think having at least some knowledge of how the industry works coming in and not coming in completely fresh, but having some of that background really helps you hit the kind of ground running. I'm not sure how either of you feel about that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there's a lot to the industry. There's a lot to the business. Then you tack on trying to grow your book of business and trying to learn an existing business with an advisor in the AIP. It can be a lot all at once. So certainly having a backbone, a background in the industry really helped me kind of going forward.
I think at all levels of adding people to your teams as well, any previous industry experience, industry education is obviously a huge asset because things have changed a lot in the last 10 years from a regulatory standpoint, and it just allows people to kind of hit the ground running.
Good news, bad news, there's more change coming.
Yes, exactly. It's the only constant. change.
Exactly. I'm going to move into the second area I want to explore, and that is, we know other firms in our industry have rookie programs that throw aspiring advisors into the deep end with minimal training and support. Sam, you participated in the AIP program from 2019 to 2022. Can you provide a brief description of your AIP experience and how it has shaped your career trajectory as a financial advisor?
Yeah, two things before I directly answer the question, Jamie. The first one was you're exactly right. Like I looked at the AIP that Raymond James was kind of offering and compared it to what else I knew was in the marketplace, and I really felt like it was the best option for me. And then the second thing was just I can't say enough about the practice management team and the program and how it's designed and run. It's very thoughtful and well done. So yeah, the AIP I thought really provided an opportunity to focus on interpersonal skills and education to the advisor as opposed to more formal sales training, I'll call it. It empowered me to use my unique background and technical skills to approach the business through my lens and in my own way, right? There was no one size fits all approach. Obviously, there's guidelines and things like that through a training program, but I really thought that it was catered towards the individual, which was important to me. Like I mentioned, the practice management team was available for support, for regular check-ins, and it made a big difference in attaching that human element to a fairly daunting career change and path change by going into the AIP and becoming a financial advisor. The other thing is having an existing team of advisors at Steele Wealth Management to be my mentors and bounce things off of all kinds of different questions and situations that I'm sure raise their eyebrows too, right? Sometimes. So it was really great to have those different levels of support to be able to get that backing that I really thought I needed.
I appreciate that. I think that mentor element is a really important one, and we'll come to that in a second when I turn the mic back over to Brian. One, again, sort of reflecting on the time when you were in the EIP program, of course, that coincided almost perfectly with a global pandemic and a shift to work from home, remote learning. How did the AIP perform? And I mean, you're not going to be able to juxtapose those. You're not going to have an opportunity to compare an in-person EIP to a hybrid one, but maybe just share a little bit about your experience and perspective learning via Zoom. Yeah.
So like you mentioned, the AIP pivoted and so did my business at the same time. So there were kind of two things going on at the same time. Luckily, Zoom, video conferencing, electronic communication, we were able to pivot pretty quickly, and I felt like I didn't miss a beat. Knock on wood, through the AIP. So a lot of the training, went online, and it was digital, which was fine. It was great. That's kind of the environment I grew up in through schooling and education and that type of stuff. So it was fairly comfortable. And like I said, the practice management team did a great job pivoting there.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Brian, I'm going to switch things, switch back over to you. The primary aim of the AIP is really to nurture the next generation of Raymond James advisors with active participation from our veteran advisors, with the underlying goal of supporting both business growth and succession planning. So, Brian, from your perspective, can you share some of the highlights from working with Sam as his AIP mentor, and your thoughts on the impact of this program on your business and perhaps even on your branch in Waterloo?
Yeah, so it's obviously been positive always around. We had the ability to add some tremendous bench strength, technical knowledge, add skill to our team. One of the cool things is we obviously with adding Sam, we reduced our average age. I think adding young people is important. They have different work perspectives, work styles, and bring a lot of valuable insight into the business. They also relate really well to children of high net worth clients. So the ability to kind of that next generation, that's really important as well. But for us, it really improved two areas of our business. One is the investment management process, with Sam's expertise in alternative investments, it just gave us a better lens into that, that sector of the investment market. So it just allows us to be really confident in, the alternatives that we're buying on behalf of our clients. I think the second part is, Sam's now an APM, so he's assisted and led in many AUM additions to the team. So he's out there participating fully in proposals and running, a book on his own within the team. So it's been very positive that way. And I think the one thing that's vitally important for the type of business that we run and the environment that we're dealing with is it adds depth for succession planning. It gives clients a great sense of safety. Clients are asking, well, what happens, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the road? We have a 30-year runway now with the team we have, and no client would ever have to switch advisory teams. We can look after them for the next 30 years. It just gives them so much peace of mind from our standpoint and from their standpoint, and just allows us to focus on looking after the client and not worrying about kind of, what's going to happen with retirements and that sort of thing over time. So it's been tremendously positive for us as a team and a branch. We've added a ton of assets since Sam's come on board, and it's just really worked out great. So we're really pleased with the whole environment. So
that's great. I'm delighted to hear that. I think you keyed in on a couple of things that I thought you might bring up, and one is succession planning, and that's a long-term game, right? It's not sort of like an advisor can say, "Hey, I'm going to retire in 6 months and hand my practice over to whoever they've picked as their successor." It really is a multi-year effort. Yep. For the successor to come in and understand how the practice works, also to develop those client relationships to ensure a smooth handoff. So again, I'm hoping, and it sounds like the AIP is actually helping with that long-term succession planning and sort of allowing for a more orderly transition at some point down the road.
Yeah, and succession, what we view succession as is succession is about the client, not about the advisor. So the whole purpose of doing this is so that we've added to our team so that we now have, a pretty set succession plan with people who have, 170 years combined experience working with the client base, right? So peace of mind, we know that the clients are looked after regardless of what retirements and changes in the team coming up in terms of at the senior level, right? So we're pretty positive on the whole experience that way.
Well, it's probably a better position to be in too when you're with your clients where you're being proactive on this topic. And so introducing Sam in, and this is Sam's background, this is the training that he's gone through, these are the processes that he's now familiar with. And the like, and as opposed to you sitting, either of you sitting across from the table and the client's saying, well, who's going to be here in 5 years taking care of my family? It's nice to be proactive, I think, rather than reactive in this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sam, just Brian touched on another interesting point, just the kind of multi-generational aspect of a practice like Steele Wealth Management, and bringing in someone like yourself who probably have an easier time to relate to the next, the second generation or perhaps third generation. How's that gone from your perspective?
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I've learned a lot. I went in kind of eyes wide open, and it's certainly opened them even further, right? So every client has unique needs. You start to see some similarities maybe across some generations. And then, like Brian mentioned, I am kind of in a position where I can relate to maybe the younger generation, so to speak, not to pigeonhole anyone, but it certainly is great because you see what's important to clients who are further along, and you kind of can foresee what's going to be most important to some younger clients. So from that perspective, having an established book of business to step into and learn from has been all that much more valuable.
Appreciate that. That's a good perspective. Brian, any other thoughts from your end?
No, I just say from a overall standpoint, I think why the AIP works is if you can find a strong mentor and a strong mentor team. I'm not, I think team's important there because, it wasn't just me. We had a team of 5 or 6 when Sam joined. So from that standpoint, you need somebody that wants to do it, and I think it works really well to add really professional level skill to your team in a pretty orderly manner, and you get a little financial support from Raymond James to do it. And literally in 3 years, it goes by just like that. And then you've got a full-fledged, APM on your team that is looking after clients and participating in all aspects of engaging with clients, which is exactly was our goal, and it worked perfectly. So we're pretty happy right now.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate you both taking time out of your busy days to share your perspective on our advisor internship program. And I want to thank Brian Steele, Sam Ryder, and wish you all the best. Look forward to seeing you at our upcoming conference in the not too distant future. Thank you both, and have a great day.